When truth faces the dead, welcome to Wise Story House, where real stories feel unreal. Today we travel into one of the darkest corners of church history, a moment when justice was twisted into vengeance, when politics drowned faith, and when a dead pope was forced to stand trial. This is the story of the Cadaver Synod, a trial so surreal, so shocking, it still echoes through history more than 1,000 years later. Chapter 1. The turbulent world of medieval Rome. Rome in the late 800s was not a city of saints, it was a battleground. Noble families clashed for control of the papacy, and the church, meant to be a spiritual light, became a throne worth killing for. Amid this chaos stood a man whose brilliance and diplomacy made him both loved and feared. Formosus, Bishop of Porto, a skilled negotiator, a trusted envoy, a man whose influence stretched from France to Bulgaria. Yet his rise did not come without enemies. He was accused of ambition, of meddling in politics, of seeking power that did not belong to him. Twice he fled Rome under threat. Twice he returned stronger. And in 891 he was elected Pope Formosus, but his past had not finished with him. Chapter 2. The Seeds of Hatred. Formosus's enemies belonged mostly to the powerful Spoleto family, the dynasty that wanted full control over Rome. Formosus resisted them, supporting rival kingdoms, strengthening the church's independence, and daring to challenge Spoleto influence. His decisions reshaped Europe, but they also made him a marked man. When he died in 896, Rome did not breathe freely, it trembled, because his enemies were still very much alive, and now they were coming for revenge. Chapter 3. A successor driven by vengeance. After Formosus's death came Pope Boniface VI, whose reign lasted only 15 days before he died suddenly. Whispers of poisoning spread across Rome, and then came Pope Stephen VI, a man fiercely loyal to the Spoletos and filled with rage toward Formosus. To Stephen, Formosus was not simply a former pope, he was a traitor, a rival even in death, and a threat to the legacy Stephen hoped to build. Stephen believed Formosus had stolen the throne, and he wanted his entire memory erased. Chapter 4. The tomb is opened. In January 897, Stephen made a decision that shocked even his own advisors. He ordered the grave of Pope Formosus to be opened. Soldiers broke the tomb, the air filled with the smell of decay, and the corpse, 7 months dead, was dragged from its resting place. They dressed him in full papal robes, placed the tiara on his head, and carried him into the Lateran Basilica to stand trial. A dead man on trial. The world had never seen anything like it. Chapter 5. The Cadaver Synod begins. Inside the basilica, torches flickered against stone walls. The audience was frozen, some horrified, some silent, some trembling. Formosus was propped up on a throne. A deacon was assigned to act as his defense attorney, a bitter mockery of justice. Pope Stephen Saphikis stood across from him, his voice shaking with rage. He accused the corpse of perjury, of ambition, of illegally claiming the papacy, of sins that only the living could commit. Stephen shouted at the corpse as if expecting it to rise and answer. But Formosus, silent and decayed, could only sit and endure the fury. It was not a trial. It was persecution, beyond death. Chapter 6. Guilty after death. Unsurprisingly, the verdict was predetermined. Formosus was found guilty. Then came the punishment. His papal robes were ripped away. The 3 fingers he used for blessings were cut off. All his acts as Pope were declared void.
And worst of all, his body was dragged through the streets of Rome, mocked, beaten by crowds, and finally thrown into the Tiber River, a pope discarded like refuse. Rome had never witnessed such humiliation, and it would not forgive it.
Chapter 7. The Backlash. The people of Rome were outraged. They believed Stephen had committed a sin against God himself. Revolts erupted, the Spoleto influence collapsed, and Pope Stephen VI was arrested. In August 897, he was found dead in prison, strangled. Meanwhile, the body of Formosus, miraculously recovered from the river, was given a hero's burial. Future popes denounced the Cadaver Synod, reversed the ruling, and restored Formosus's honor. The Church tried to erase the shame, but history does not forget. Chapter 8. Lessons from a Nightmare. The Cadaver Synod stands as one of the strangest events in all religious history. But beneath the horror lies a lesson. When hatred rules leadership, justice becomes a weapon. When power is worshipped more than truth, even the innocent dead can be condemned. Yet the story also reminds us that truth rises even from a river. Honor returns even when buried. And history eventually judges the judges. Stay curious, stay inspired, subscribe for more. Wise Story House.